My name is Damant. I'm a technical director at Pell Frischmann, having worked for Bernwood Ecology and set it up in 1998. Before that, I worked as a site manager for organisations like the National Trust. Having always wanted to be a nature reserve manager, I now find myself working with whole landscapes and protected species, having developed our skills over the last 30 years. I've always been interested in the landscape and wildlife around me. My parents got me interested at a very early stage in my life. I travelled abroad for a bit and worked in a field school, and then came back and thought, that's what I want to do. I did a course in countryside management, and since then my interest has grown and grown. I try and take on different subjects most years, whether it's species like mosses or snails, right the way through to becoming an expert in breakers and newts or bats. My primary interest is in landscape ecology, looking at the whole rather than the individual components. We've had a long-standing relationship with Pell Frischmann. We first started working with Pell Frischmann back in 2000. We were working on the delivery of grid squares in Milton Keynes. Pell Frischmann were the engineers. We provided the ecological support, and we were tasked with delivering the ecology on 10,000 new houses in Milton Keynes at the time. Since then, we've worked with Pells on the HS2 Bernwood Forest project and delivering the ecology or the bat licence monitoring for that contract. And it seemed like a natural fit. As technical director at Pell Frischmann, I'm beginning to learn the ropes. I've got a lot of inductions to do, but I'm expecting it to be many and varied, whether it's on site doing surveys right through to leading a team of ecologists and passing on my knowledge and experience, managing accounts and making sure projects are delivered. I've been very lucky. I've had opportunities to work on some really exciting projects, including the restoration of a south terrace at Cliveden, for instance, where we discovered autumn swarming bats, probably of national significance. The bats gather in the autumn to carry out breeding functions, and they swarm about in the middle of the night. And we carry out surveys there whilst people are dining above in the fancy hotel. The project itself was a multi-million-pound project to restore the South Terrace, and we came up with an innovative scheme where we were able to work without even acquiring a protected species licences by avoiding impacts through timing. More recently, I've been very lucky to be involved in a project for the restoration of the Maximilian Tower and Monastery at Lokrum in Croatia, where we worked with the Croatian and Dubrovnik governments to come up with a mitigation strategy for the restoration project. At the same time as doing that, we've actually come up with pioneering research and published a paper, the first paper, on the ecology of Placotis columbatovici in the Mediterranean long-eared bat, which has recently been published. I also work on many schemes with landowners, and I'm particularly proud of one scheme where over 30 years we provide their agri-environment advice, and they've now gone to regenerative farming and managing their woodlands in a sustainable way and meeting their carbon targets. It's a very exciting area for me, partly because my new role at Pell Frischmann is taking me in that direction, but I'm looking forward to looking at how we can use new technologies and AI to improve how we carry out surveys and get results and a wider understanding, how we can combine, say, the use of drones with thermal imagery or acoustic surveys to more simply carry out basic surveys at sites through to radio tracking bats. I hope in the near future we'll start getting GPS tags that are small enough to be able to use on bats, so we can actually discover more about bats without having to leave our room, but actually get proper quality of data. The other area of interest is how acoustic surveys are carried out and how auto recognition software through the use of AI can improve our identification skills. Understanding the ecological landscape we live in is fundamental to achieving the carbon reduction goals, and the application of nature-based solutions using tools such as biodiversity net gain, nature recovery networks, so we protect those environments that are most important to us whilst also allowing sustainable development to take place.